The Demon King laughed loudly, baring his sharp iron teeth and boasting, "Do you want me to kill you? There's no such thing, little one, it's not so easy. If I were to do that, wouldn't it be giving you too much of an advantage?" After saying this, he tightened his grip around Mysterious Lady's neck, his face twisted with malice. Mysterious Lady's face now appeared lifeless, her eyes devoid of resistance. Seeing this, the Demon King continued his taunts, "I must slowly torment you, just as your father did to our clan members back then. No, I'll be even more ruthless than he was to exact the revenge that has been brewing within me for so long." He continued to threaten in various ways. But Mysterious Lady remained indifferent. This indifference only further enraged him. He erupted in fury, shouting, "Don't act so indifferent as if you don't care about anything. You're afraid for me, admit it, admit that you're afraid." After ranting like a madman, he gathered his dark magic in his hands once again, intending to continue tormenting Mysterious Lady with his newfound idea. He said, "Or perhaps I'll start by disabling these two white legs of yours before I feast on you." As soon as he finished speaking, he struck down without any hesitation. His blow was extremely powerful, and the path the magical sphere took created a deep trench extending quite far. After the dust settled, he seemed puzzled. "Huh? What's this? Did I miss my target?" But shortly after, he realized it was impossible for him to miss at that distance. Furthermore, Mysterious Lady was no longer lying there. This thought led him to understand. Someone had rescued her. The Demon King became extremely angry and shouted, "Who dares to come out and face me?" Looking up, he was stunned by the scene. Another figure was carrying Mysterious Lady in their arms, surrounded by a swirling sea of fire. The overwhelming aura made the Demon King stagger. With two ponytails tied up and wielding this power, it could be none other than Houseen. He had successfully activated the peak-level experience card, or rather, Naja successfully transformed. Riding on the blazing wind fire wheels, Houseen looked at Mysterious Lady reproachfully. "You really are stubborn, aren't you? Even in the end, you refuse to seek help from others. You could have perished if I hadn't arrived in time. Instead, you stand there with a cold demeanor, oblivious to the value of your own life. If I hadn't made it in time, you would have died several times over." But instead of thanking or being moved, Mysterious Lady appeared shocked. Her eyes widened, her pupils constricted, and her face swelled like a pig's. This aura, did you just transform into Naja?" Mysterious Lady was startled by Houseen's appearance. Neither fully male nor female. It looked incredibly strange. But what was particularly alarming was that she was being carried by another man, which made her even more frightened. Seeing her squirming like a fish out of water, he exclaimed loudly, "Can't you stop moving around aimlessly? I'm not very used to standing on this ring, you know. One wrong step and I could break my neck right now." At the same time, the Demon King also looked up to the sky and laughed heartily. "Haha, you indeed are not an ordinary mortal, little one. From the beginning, I suspected that no mortal would dare to witness this scene without a hint of fear. Finally, your true form is revealed," he exclaimed, pretending to be amused. However, deep down, the Demon King had different thoughts. "It's strange. Why didn't I sense any aura from him before?" he pondered. As soon as the thought crossed his mind, the Demon King hastily gathered his immense magical power and lunged at Houseen with the intent to deliver a fatal blow. Because he believed that this mysterious individual might be at a level beyond his comprehension. And his own body was weakened, he had to use all the remaining strength of his inner state to swiftly defeat him, even if it meant sacrificing himself. Swinging a powerful blow towards Houseen and Mysterious Lady, the Demon King thought that they would surely perish if hit by such an attack. However, the Demon King's attack came from behind Houseen, yet he remained unmoved like a mountain. Only Mysterious Lady turned her head, witnessing the ominous source of magic with a grave expression. Then Mysterious Lady shouted at Houseen, "This is the power of inner state. Ignore me and run away quickly before it's too late." Her words were both a response to his concern and an urging for him to flee. However, Houseen turned back with a gaze that seemed to say, all beings are equal, all things are tranquil. He coldly told the Demon King, you want to compare inner states? Fine, let me show you what true inner state is. As soon as he finished speaking, a pillar of light descended from the sky straight onto the kingdom of women. The terrifying tremor and dazzling brilliance of this event could be seen from thousands of miles away. Mysterious Lady was once again horrified. Unable to believe what she was seeing, while Wukong remained unsurprised, having unwavering faith in his master's strength. He knew that his master was powerful, unlike his seemingly weak appearance without cultivation like an ordinary mortal. In the distant forest, even the small demon beasts felt the terror of this overwhelming force. Two young demon beasts, inexperienced in the ways of the world, trembled in fear, their bodies quivering uncontrollably. Back to the scene where Houseen stood, he had summoned his divine general. A divine general with 3 heads and 6 wings appeared as if materialized from nothingness. This was the true manifestation of inner state. Houseen's body was now shining brightly like an immortal human, and he looked down at Mysterious Lady with a cold demeanor. However, the one most horrified at this moment was the Demon King. He was so terrified that he almost fainted, unable to believe the truth before his eyes. Trembling with fear, he stammered, "You, how could you?" He couldn't say anything more as fear gripped him so strongly that his tongue seemed to stick to his palate. The longer he looked, the more terrified he became, feeling like crying in sheer terror. The Demon King, known for his extreme cruelty and ruthlessness, was now reduced to a trembling mess on the ground, unable to stand. Seeing him in such a state, Houseen displayed a surge of killing intent and said mockingly, "What's wrong with you? Can't speak now? Speak up a bit, I'm all ears." The Demon King had been silent for a while, unable to utter a word, just staring and staring, his eyes wide with shock. In its previous life, the Demon King was a giant sea serpent that preyed on creatures in the vast ocean. In an unnamed fish pond, it swam in search of food. Its massive body, sharp teeth, thick steel-like scales, and sharp spikes all over its back made it appear ferocious. Other small fish in the pond either fled upon seeing it or became its meal. Those unlucky enough to be caught by the Demon King met a swift demise. Even rulers from other domains couldn't escape its lethal jaws. In its presence, death was inevitable. The battle between the sea creatures began, and the overwhelming victory belonged to the ocean serpent with its devastating strike. Gradually, it became an existence that other small fish dared not challenge, instilling fear in all who encountered it. Over time, the food chain reinforced its belief that it was the strongest being in the world. Then, one day, a powerful storm struck, sweeping away the entire pond into the clouds. For the first time in its life, the sea serpent beheld the vastness of the earth and sky. The boundless expanse seemed infinite, and it felt like a tiny speck in this vast universe. Even other true demon kings and rulers were astonished like it was. At that time, it harbored doubts for a long time, only truly awakening to the scene when it was rudely awakened. But now, even though a long time had passed since then, it still made the Demon King recall the desperation and insignificance of its previous life, and the humiliation it had considered its own righteousness. Now, the Demon King was kneeling on the ground, trembling, and dared not move. He pleaded, "Great Lord, I surrender. I beg for your mercy. In this life, I am willing to serve you obediently, no matter what you command." He spoke each word humbly, without a hint of arrogance, sweating profusely with fear. Hearing this, Houseen was furious. He thought to himself, what nonsense surrender is this? Are all my experience cards wasted like this? You haven't even fought yet, and you're already surrendering. Enraged, he grabbed the Demon King's collar and shouted, "Stop spouting nonsense, little girl. Get up and fight me now." The Demon King, upon hearing this, was terrified. He stammered, "I dare not. I am just a tiny ant in front of the great Lord. How could I dare to strike?" But Houseen kept pressing the Demon King, asking, "Are you going to fight me now?" He then pressed his hand against the Demon King's head, causing him to wince in pain. However, the Demon King had no courage left to fight, knowing the overwhelming difference in strength. It was like hitting a stone with an egg. Witnessing this scene, Mysterious Lady was also stunned. It was unclear what she was thinking or if she was still in shock from Houseen's power. But perhaps she saw the unbelievable strength of Naja's peak form that Houseen was experiencing. She remained stunned for a long time, gazing at his power. Meanwhile, Houseen acted like an immature youngster constantly taunting the Demon King to fight. However, Mysterious Lady could only feel that level of power in one person. That person was her father. Since she was young and gained awareness of this world, Mysterious Lady had followed her father to harsh places for cultivation. Such towering figures left a lasting impression on her, but they always remained distant, never allowing her to get too close, even in daily life. Father told her that solitude is the most important trait of the strong. Even in the face of pain and discomfort to the point of incomprehensibility, weakness is not allowed. Yet she always believed in her father. One day, they walked through a snowy forest together. Just like any other day, the little girl followed her father in their cultivation journey, maintaining that distance. Suddenly, she heard a noise in the nearby bushes and decided to investigate. In the bushes, a small and adorable fox appeared, looking at her. Curiosity towards cute things is natural for any child, and the little fox seemed to like her too. It happily bounded towards Mysterious Lady, gently touching her with its tiny nose. It was the first time Mysterious Lady had such intimate contact with another life, a nameless emotion flooding her heart, but in the next second, another large foot suddenly descended, ruthlessly crushing the small fox. This scene unfolded before Mysterious Lady's eyes, leaving her stunned. Her father also asked, "What are you doing? Do you want to adopt it like those inferior humans? Answer me." Under her father's interrogation, Mysterious Lady could only hold back her tears and apologize. He turned away, saying, "Remember that solitude and aloofness are the best paths to greatness." However, her father turned back with a cold gaze and said, "No, it should be uniqueness that is truly right." Mysterious Lady couldn't adapt to the situation, feeling a strange sensation that came and went, leaving her desolate. Since that day, young Mysterious Lady dared not approach or interact with any other living beings. Day after day, year after year, on the vast plain, the small figure remained lonely. Her father's words were truly never wrong. She indeed quickly grew stronger, from being adorable to gradually developing a blank expression, then transforming into a sharp, cold gaze like her father's, as if she had lost something in her subconscious, which she now saw. Looking at the extraordinary man before her, while she pondered over the past and present. So on this side, Houseen continued to provoke the Demon King to fight. He went from taunting to cursing, nodding his head, even squeezing his neck, yet the Demon King didn't resist. It wasn't that the Demon King suddenly turned docile or became a vegetarian, it was simply because he lacked the courage to fight at this moment. But in Mysterious Lady's eyes, Houseen clearly exhibited the condescending attitude her father had spoken of, yet possessed strength no less than her father's. For the first time in her life, Mysterious Lady began to doubt her great father, so she made a momentous decision right then and there. She advanced towards where Houseen was confronting the Demon King. Houseen, in a fit of rage, was gripping the Demon King's throat, frothing at the mouth. "How dare you waste my card? I'll teach you a lesson, you damned fool." Mysterious Lady stood behind, unsure of what to say, stammering, Hearing her voice, Houseen turned to see what was happening. Mysterious Lady, feeling embarrassed, said, "Can you accept me as your disciple?" Hearing this, Houseen was dumbfounded. "What?" he asked incredulously. He hadn't done anything to her, so why would she suddenly want to become his disciple? Suddenly, the system announced, there has been a significant change in Mysterious Lady's worldview. Her potential value has increased by 35%. Congratulations, host, on completing the mission. Your reward is one Peak King of Hell experience card. Houseen cheered wildly as he held up the card. Another emergency lifeline charm. But then he remembered that he hadn't done much since opening the Najah card. The Demon King had surrendered out of the blue, followed by mysterious lady wanting to become his disciple, and then the mission was suddenly completed. Wait, what's going on, system? Houseen demanded. Explain this to me. You're making me feel a bit foolish here, and with that, the story comes to an end. See you in the next episodes, folks. Don't forget to subscribe and like to support me.